Yeah, you see, Saba even agreed.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday.
We are glad to have so many of you here. I think 60 people registered or 62 registered for tonight's
That's
session, which
amazing.
is
62
amazing.
people. Wow.
We have a lot of new members joining, a lot of
Mhm.
new people here tonight. So we're gonna start off tonight by kind of talking about what happened on the weekend with us, what we did in Windsor. Give you guys a quick update of what's going on in our life, and then we'll dive into
Definitely.
Kickstart. We'll dive into it and talk to you guys a bit about more about what's coming up with it, and then we'll actually start going to our own commitments.
Yeah, we're
So
going to give you a few of our commitments that
yeah, we're
we're
gonna
working
start
on and
working.
how we're going to be working commitments because it's going to be a little different for the two of us, right? There's two of us, and some of our commitments, we'll talk about that in just a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm just going to zip it for right
yeah.
there.
I'm like, you're just giving it all
I'm
away
just
now.
giving it all away. Okay. Yes, I give
So,
everything
so
away.
instead, now, can you start about the weekend?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So, all of you know on Thursday night, my lovely aunt, my tante Lise, came to Toronto and we picked her up at Yorkdale. And so, we brought her home because she was actually coming to see my mom and she's spending the month in Windsor with my mom. So, on Friday after work, Nick and I had a work day. We had no choice. We had to work. So, we jumped into the car after work after picking up Nisha because Nisha was coming to watch the cats. So we brought Nisha
Cat.
over to the cat. I'm sorry, that's going to take a long time for me to
Well,
get
we're back
used
to
to.
cats soon. So
Yes, so
it's just a few months.
exactly. So if I say cats, let's just go with it.
Okay, sure.
So she came and watched Saba, but she had never actually spent the weekend before, so we wanted to show her a few things so she felt comfortable. And she was great. She came in and she was like, ah. So we ended up getting to Windsor. I was probably around 9:30 that night and just spent the night with my mom and my aunt and just chit-chatted. And we had plans for Saturday. There was 13 of us going to a distillery. It was a gin, vodka, and whiskey distillery. We got to do a tour. But pre to that, on Saturday morning, my mom's iPad had stopped working on her. Like she was able to plug it in but the plug would fall out all the time. So being here in Toronto and not seeing it all, I'm like, I'll fix it when I get there, mom. In my mind, I'm like, something's probably stuck in it or she's just not.
Happened to us before.
We've done that before. We ended up like pulling something out of the iPad and we're like, oh, it's working again. Well, I get there and I'm like, ah, crap. I feel bad. I'm like, yeah, she was right. I don't know what it was. The inside of the
Almost
iPad
like got
just
pushed in.
there was no way she had to scotch tape it. So I'm like, mom, your best bet is just to go buy an iPad. And some of you might not know this, so maybe this is a tip for all of you. If you have an old device that's still in good working condition, but you're wanting to trade it in, if you don't have an Apple store in your area, Staples does this. They do a recycling program or a return program where they'll put it into their software, or they have a system, and it'll come out with an amount that your device is worth. So my mom ended up getting some money for her device and was able to trade it in. So that was cool.
Yeah.
And then we ended up spending another hour at the Bell store because her answering machine doesn't work. Okay. This is
Listen
the
to this scenario, everybody.
weirdest thing ever. Okay.
Elle doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah, Belle has no clue what's going on.
Listen to this.
So months ago, my mom calls me, and so does my sister, and they're like, "Your mom's answering machine isn't working." We got mom a new iPhone just this year because her iPhone, she had an old iPhone 7, so we like upgraded her completely. And we set up her answering machine, no issues. It was working. Blah blah blah. We come home. I would say a month and a half later. My sister's complaining she can't leave mom any messages. My mom's complaining that she's not getting any messages. So finally, I call Bell. I try to talk to them over the phone, and they're like, you know what? You have to go into the store to talk to somebody in the store to help you with this. I'm like, okay. So I get my mom. I'm like, Mom, go to the store. When you get to the store, call me so I can explain what's going on with your phone. Well, she forgets that part. So she goes to the store. She tries to fix it on her own, which I love. I think that's amazing. And then she tells me later, oh, I was at the store. I'm like, but you were supposed to call me. So lo and behold, I'm like, you're gonna have to wait till we get there, mom, and we'll go. So we went in yesterday. Weird thing that's happening with the phone. So when you call my mom and she's not able to answer, there's an automatic message that says, I'm sorry, this number is invalid. Please check the number and or try your call again. However, if I call my mom and my mom decides to decline the call, it just doesn't ring out. She decides to decline the call. It then goes to her answering machine and says, "Hi, thank you for calling. You could leave me a message and I'll call you back."
So she can't get
So she
messages
has to
when she's
decline.
not has her phone.
Yeah.
That's not how a voicemail is supposed to work.
You're supposed to, you're like, if you're not able to answer your phone's supposed to ring to
and
the
Val has
end,
no idea why.
and your answer machine
No
is
idea.
supposed to pick up, but hers won't pick up. So they're stumped, completely stumped. So we waited for like what, an hour and a half in that store. And the lady, we will say this, the lady in the store, her name was Teresa, was fabulous. She was so sweet. She was funny. The guy on the phone was nice as well. He was trying to do his best. So, but it was just like, are you kidding me? You told me what got me frustrated is when I called in the phone originally, you told me I had to come into the store to get this solved. But then all she did was call tech support on the phone from inside the store.
And they still couldn't
And they
solve
still couldn't solve it. So it just was confusing. And what really blew my mind, and again, this is just mine, that she actually had to call the same tech support number that we all call, but she's staff. She works for Bell. So even working for Bell, they don't have like a priority line to
never
call.
had this, hon.
I know, but it's just weird and like it just blows my
Never
mind.
had this.
It's unfortunate. It's just things I'm noticing. Things I'm noticing. Yeah. Then we actually, after that, we jumped in the car and we ended up heading to the Wolf Head Distillery in
And
Amherstburg and restaurant in Amherstburg.
And it's funny because it's like in the middle of nowhere. It's like and it's just field and you just drive by and all of a sudden, boom, there.
It doesn't even look like a restaurant. It looks like a barn, but a fancy barn.
Yeah.
They had a beautiful patio. There was a guy playing guitar. And then you walk in and it's a restaurant bar. They have a store and they bring you to the back in the distillery. So there was 13 of us that got to go on this tour. Jax, Jax, was our tour guide. He was adorable. Not gonna lie. He was very cute, but he was really nice too. Funny guy. We had a few other people that we didn't know on the tour with us, but it was a lot of fun. Like got to learn about Canadian whiskey and there are rules on Canadian whiskey. There are rules in order to name something like I call it vodka. There are rules.
There are 4 rules for vodka.
I don't remember what they are, but there's a lot of them.
Don't ask me what they are.
One of the rules for Canadian whiskey is it's the aging process. In order for it to be
3 years,
it has to be a minimum of 3 years in a barrel. And so their aging process is only 9 months. So even though they are a whiskey that is made in Canada, they are not considered a Canadian whiskey. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? But because they don't fall under those rules. But it was cool to watch the machines. There's one room that that all the machines are in, and it's explosive proof. Like if a bomb goes off, it'll just go off in that room. It's
because it's possible in that room, right? Because there's a lot of gases,
and
right?
gas, ethanol that's created by the yeast in creation of alcohol.
Yeah.
So
it was a fun tour. The food was really
good. Oh my God, the food was
we were there a long time. So the thing that would happen is that we had a group that did the tour
at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. and then we had dinner at 6. And so we originally, when we had called in, we said, can we sit around for a while? And they said, sure, there's a patio. You guys can hang out there. But they literally got our table ready right after the tour. So we were able to sit at that table for like 3 hours and they didn't make us move.
Oh my God.
Had drinks. We just chatted.
The waitress was fabulous as well. She took care of every single one of us with not even a question. She was funny. She actually knew Claudia, who's done a lot of stuff with us as well, which was kind of a little fun thing and a cool thing. And there was some little weird things that happened, even like a friend of mine that came, who's an interpreter in Windsor, ended up knowing another person there because of another, like it was so the 6 degrees of separations was very, very unique and a lot of fun.
It was. So it was a great night. And, if anybody ever has a chance to go in Windsor, if you live in the area or you're visiting, go
yeah,
check it out. It's worth it. It was a lot of fun.
The cocktails are delicious too. They have a grapefruit vodka. They have a cosmopolitan, like ready to drink mix. They have apple caramel whiskey, a banana caramel rum, a cinnamon whiskey, like a bunch of different stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So now we got home today. We actually, on our way home today, we went to Elaine's Farm Market, Garden Market in Windsor, where we always stop. The corn that we ate for dinner tonight, delicious. Lynn, you'll get to have some on the Friday or Thursday when you're here, because Lynn's coming with us, so you get to try some.
I was born and raised in
It's
Windsor.
so good.
For those of you who don't know, Windsor is well known for their corn.
You know why it's so good? It's because it's the kernels like
Fall
almost
off
like
the cob.
they like pop in your mouth like popcorn almost. As you're chewing it, it just like pop, and it's like crispy and chewy and sweet and buttery. Yes, I make you all just go to Windsor and grab corn.
Get some corn.
Gentlemen.
Corn is
just
good.
get some corn. And then we stopped. And then I told Jean-Luc, your mission. We're on an amazing race again. Find a farm boy on our way home that's closest to the highway. Look in London. So he looks in London. It's like, no, too far. Okay, next city, Cambridge. Looks like Cambridge.
5 minutes.
5
away.
minutes from the highway. That's where we're going. So
whenever we go to Windsor now, we'll be stopping at the Cambridge Farm Boy before
someone
coming
said
home.
we should have told them. The next time we'll in Windsor, we'll just say we're coming by, and we'll be at the Farm Boy soon in Cambridge.
It was fun. It was great though.
And today I actually started planning events for the fall. So for those of you doing the KickStart, you'll have events coming up this fall as well. We'll be doing some in-person events throughout the 6 weeks. One of those events is apple picking in Stouffville. So for those of you who want to do apple picking with us, we'll be doing that in Stouffville. We're going to be going to St. Jacob's in Waterloo. And most likely visiting Jen after to go visit her
cafe.
Cafe.
Yeah. So we'll probably stop at
Picard's Peanuts, of course.
Yeah. Maybe not. We can stop, but not eat them right away.
After, depending on our conditions, on our commitments.
Yeah, depending on our commitments.
Exactly. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then we're also planning a trip to Farm Boy in Pickering and a lunch as well there. So we're doing things in 3 different areas. So if you can join any of those, you'll see details coming out in the next week or so on our website. And for those of you out in other cities, we're coming to the West Coast soon. So if you live in any cities from here to BC, just reach out our websites and let us know, because we're going to be doing all that. And then so now we're going to jump into the main topic of why I think most people are here tonight, is to talk about KickStart. So I'm going to pull up our blog that we wrote this week, just to kind of talk to you guys, first of all, how we came up with it again, just because there's a lot of new people. We want to make sure everybody's getting the full information, and how we're going to work on this together, because some stuff came out this week. Some new stuff came out this week as tools that you guys are going to see are going to start appearing during the 6-week KickStart program that we're starting on September 15th. The 6 week starts on the 16th, but our first session together will be on the 15th.
The day before.
And
it happens to fall on a Sunday.
Who
are the 2 smart people who planned that?
Me and me? I plan a calendar. No?
No comment. Let's continue.
Okay. So I'm pulling it. Just let me pull that up, and then we can keep going there.
So yes, as Nick's pulling up the KickStart, if you go to our website, Nick actually wrote a blog about KickStart and where it came from, why we decided to start doing this, and so forth. So that's exactly where he's reading. We're going to be grabbing some of that information if you want to follow along in that sense.
Yeah, so just go to jeanlucandnick.com/KickStart if you want to follow along. We'll talk about a few of these things and what we're going to be doing for all of these things during the 6 weeks. So first of all, why KickStart was created is because we realize a lot of us know what we want to do. None of us can be on the same journeys.
Not even know what we want to do. We know what we have to do. We just don't freaking do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or we do it. And after doing it for 2 weeks, we start falling off the wagon per se. And we stop doing those things that we set ourselves out to do. So that discussion of how can we help? What can we do to help that? That's where KickStart came up with. We realized that
we needed a kick in the butt.
We needed something to kick us back on that journey we had years ago. And the way we started the first time was with that detox that we always talked about. But we realized it wasn't really a detox. It was KickStart. What we're doing with you guys right now is what we did. We're trying to kind of create what we did back then to kind of get us going, and then get us to keep going on our journeys after we got that KickStart started.
Yeah, because it's almost like, look at it as a motorcycle. If you've never been on a motorcycle, you have to kickstart your motorcycle, right? In order to get that, I don't know. Don't ask me the technical part, but I know what it works.
Oh, please, honey, please.
Once you do the kickstart, it actually sends it to the engine to get the engine going and running. But sometimes you got to do it a few times, or just like a lawnmower when you have to pull the actual string to get the motor running.
Get to moving,
That's
bro.
that kickstart that we all need, right? And sometimes it's going to take a few pulls before you actually get that smooth sailing. And there's nothing wrong with that. So that's where we really want you guys to start realizing that there's no wrong or right answer in what you do with Kickstart.
So KickStart, what is it? It's a 6-week program to help you achieve some of your goals. And it does not have to be just weight loss goals. Someone reached out to us today and said, hey, I might be starting this. And is it okay if I join, if I'm doing this? And like, we're not going to judge anyone. You do whatever you want to do. We're not going to tell you to join us if you're doing, if you've gotten, if you're taking on, if you're on Weight Watchers, if you're taking a weight loss drug, if you've gotten surgery, any of those situations, we don't care what you're doing. We're not here to police or
say one thing is better than another and only this is successful and that's better. No,
we're not doing that.
We all have different journeys to live and to travel through in our life, but we can still all support each other along the way. That's the important part.
And so what we'll be doing is KickStart will be a way for all of us to get together to do this detox that we did, but do it as a group. Now, why we're doing it as a group is because, again, community is something that seems to have a little disappeared. So remember about 2-3 years ago, you know, it was 2021, COVID had just ended. We still have that online community. The world was all still that online. Have most of you felt that that's kind of disappeared? You know, that whole online world that we all had. This is what we're trying to rebuild with this. We're trying to rebuild a hub for all of you to come back and reconnect to each other and to get support, because a lot of us are alone again doing these things. As much as we're in person with other people, our friends and family, a lot of these struggles are hard to deal with family. You don't want to talk to them about this. You don't want to ask your sister to be your accountability buddy because you know she's going to say blah, 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 and you're going to get angry and you're just going to fight all the time. I see some people nodding their heads there. We know this. So if you can do it with a stranger, or if you do it with a community that's there behind you, that's what this is all about. It's about getting that support, but you also have to show up for this.
And this is where the commitments come in. Yes. This is where we say, we're asking not even you, we're asking ourselves to commit to something for a period of time, and not even a lengthy period of time, but 42 days to be exact. It's 12 days past a month.
It's just 42 days.
42 days.
It's not that long.
No. And the reason why we said 40, why did we pick the 6 weeks? Because we felt 6 weeks was doable. Whenever we tried to do something within a 90-day period, it was too long. We gave up too quickly. Whenever we did something in even like 60-day period, still too long. But this 6 weeks seems achievable. It's a month and a half.
It's also a way to have a routine, because we have 6 weeks to build a routine.
Yeah.
It's also a way for you to build habits, because as they all say, usually habits take more than
8 days to be
21
created. Technically.
So we wanted to be safe and give you guys 42 to make it really stick and become a routine at that point. It might take 28 days to become a habit. It'll take 42 to become a routine.
And so why commitments? What is a commitment? Why did we say it's a commitment? Because you know what? When you commit something to yourself, you're more likely to do it. And we don't want commitments to, we highly recommend that commitments aren't something lofty and that they are not mistaken for a goal.
And you have to remember, you have to be cognizant that you're doing this for 42 days.
42 days.
So if you set a goal that's impossible within the 42 days, if you know you're going on a vacation to Costa Rica within that moment, and you know that, I'm
not going to have any alcohol.
And that's not going to happen. And maybe this is not a commitment for this Kickstart. Maybe this Kickstart, you focus on something else. You have to be realistic that you can do this for 42 days.
It's something you want to achieve that might be a small step or a first step to achieving a larger and bigger goal. Multiple commitments can help you achieve one single goal.
Exactly. And we highly recommend, this is just our recommendation, to split your commitments between different categories.
Yes.
Don't do all food. Don't do all
weight loss.
Our activity. It's going to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
You need to find different areas of your life that you want to do something, and make some of these goals easy to achieve. You don't want 10 things that are
commitments.
Commitments. You want to make these commitments achievable. You don't want to make it so hard that it takes you almost impossible. You can't make
So-
those commitments every
A
day.
good example of this, saying, let's say you're a person that drinks, I'm going to use this because this person here drinks a lot of pop. Okay. I love you. I'm just saying this. You drink pop every single day, maybe 3 or 4 cans a day. And now you're going to say, you know what? My commitment is for the next 42 days, I'm never going to have a pop. Do you think that's achievable? Is that something you think is a small goal to help you get rid of, or a small commitment that could help you not drink pop every day anymore? No, because the odds of you not being able, from going down to 5 pops a day to 0 pops a day is not
probably
doable.
tough.
It's going to be a challenge. So instead, a commitment could be, I'm going to bring down my daily pop to 2 cans a day. Right? Instead of going from 5, going down to 2 and committing to that for 42 days. That's a feat in itself.
And then if after you're done in 42 days, you're good with that, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going with that commitment. And maybe in January, because this is not the only Kickstart is going to come back again. 10 commitments will be created. And at that point, maybe you'll say, and I want to do 1 pop a day for 42 days. And then next Kickstart after that, you're like, you know what? I'm ready. None. I'm going for 0 this time. And then you're finally able to actually do it in a slow fashion. This is about changing your lifestyle, changing things that you want to tweak, things that you want to enhance in your life. And like we said, it could be anything. It could be your career. It could be, I want to go on vacation, so I need to save money. So every day I'm going to put $1 away every day for 42 days. That could be what you want to do. It could be anything you want.
It has to be, well, it could be absolutely anything you want, but make it something that is going to make you also kind of want to do it in a way. Tweak it to make it fun for yourself, because if things are fun, you'll more likely be
willing to do
it. And it doesn't need to be a daily thing either. Maybe it's a weekly thing.
How do you track that in our tracker? Easy. So you have 7 days. If on date, and each week counts from Sunday or some Monday to Sunday. It's all laid out. It's Monday to Sunday. That's why your second week starts the following second week. So if your commitment is once a week, I'm going to indulge in chocolate, because you now indulge 16 times a week. You want to do once a week. What you're going to do is day 1. Okay. Have I only had chocolate once? No, I've had it 0 times. Okay. My commitment's still valid. Check. Day 2, I haven't had chocolate yet. Am I still, oh yeah, okay. Day 2, day 3. Oh, today's the day. I need it. It's a dark day outside. I need some chocolate. Not for me, but I'm talking about the rest of you out there, because I don't understand that. I need cheese. That's what I would say. So say on 3rd day, you have your piece of chocolate. So, okay, you had your 1 piece. Check. Now becomes your commitment the next 4 days of the week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want to keep those check boxes going. That means no other piece of chocolate. If you have another piece, that means for the rest of those check boxes, they're gone. Because on each time when you tell yourself at the end of the day, when you said, I will only have 1 piece per week, if you answer the question, did I only have 1 this week? And it's no, you don't check the box.
And honestly, everybody, we're not going to be in your house. We're not going to be on your shoulder. Well, I hope we're on your shoulder going, are you committing to yourself today? Are you being good to yourself today? We will be in your minds, but this is an honor system.
Yeah.
And so if you are honestly not being truthful to yourself, the only person you're hurting in the long run is you. So be honest with yourself. Do the best you possibly can. And what this is going to do too is when you do your checkbox, you'll be able to see how maybe your commitments might be a little too easy for you, or maybe they're a little too hard. Because sometimes you're going to notice that you might need to step it up a little bit as well.
Exactly. So how now? So now we've given you how you're going to build your commitments, and we'll work with you guys for the next 2 sessions to work through ours. So tonight's just kicking off the process of doing that. So that's why we're giving you some hints of when you start building your own commitments. Listen, remember all these points that we've said, because they'll help you create your commitments. You can even send them to us.
Yeah.
Email your commitments to us, or post them and say, hey, Nick and Jean-Luc, I want you to review them.
Or if you want to book a meeting, as we said, there's a way of booking a meeting on our website.
Yeah.
If you want to book a meeting and just review, talk to someone about commitments, and you want to talk to us about it, feel free.
Yeah.
We're willing to do that, right? We're not going to be able to give you the answers.
No.
You are going to give yourself your own answers, and you are going to give yourself the commitments that you are going to be able to achieve.
Exactly. So how are we going to make this continue now? How are we going to make this sustainable? How are we going to make you guys want to do this for 42 days? That's the second piece of all this. The first piece is building those commitments. The second part is how do we make you guys want to do this for 42 days? So there's going to be incentives for you guys to keep doing this every day. On our website, there will be a form. It'll say name, commitment 1, checkbox, commitment 2, checkbox, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the date. You're going to go there every day, submit your commitments and say, have I done them? What does that do? Every day you submit gets you an entry into our contest for KickStart. We're giving away 3 prize packs at the end of this 42 days. So every time you track your daily tracker, you submit your commitment tracker, you will get an entry into the contest. Other ways you can get entries. If you join a step class, you will be given a unique code for step class to submit your entry to the contest. If you join a chat like this
on Sundays, Tuesdays, or Thursdays,
you will get a code that you join and you will get another way. So again, it's giving you incentive to show up for yourself, but also you can win prizes. Other ways you can get entries is if you refer a friend. So if a friend joins us and puts your name when they get referral, you will actually get 5 entries. So there's other ways to give you incentives for you guys to stick to your commitments.
And we don't want to be exclusive to anyone. So let's say it's September 18th and your friend wants to join. We're not going to say, no, they can't do this.
Yeah, we're not like that.
There's no right or wrong.
Create the commitments at day 41.
Exactly.
Just,
So don't feel like the only reason why we're like, we want more people following at the same time because it's easier to support that way. But it doesn't need, it's not an end all or be all if someone decides to join in halfway. Because you know what? If you're willing to commit to yourself and that's when you need to do it then. Don't wait, right? You don't have to wait. If you guys are willing to start 1 or your 2 or your commitments now, we're not going to yell at you. We love that people are already doing it because it's making you guys think.
I saw Scott post, I'm ready for Monday on the group. And I was like, that's so awesome. I was like, we started in September, but you can do your commitments now.
We have to be honest with that. You know why we're waiting till September? Because we're not fully ready to commit right now. We know it. We're being honest with ourselves. We have another trip coming. Well, we have another 2-week trip that we're going to be traveling. Like we have to mentally be ready for this.
Yeah.
And so we're giving all of us this time to mentally prepare ourselves and say, you know what? I'm able to do this for 42 days. I have this many days left to just say, what am I willing to do to make a change in my life, to make things better for me? These 10 commitments should be all about you right now. Every single one of them.
So other things you're going to have are chats. If you go on our website right now, you can see that there's actually topics already up.
Woo.
We have special guests joining us. We're actually signing up other guests. So we actually
we talked to Sergio. And he's going to be coming and talking about intermittent fasting because he's been doing that.
We have someone coming in,
exciting.
Gary coming in to do vision boards.
Vision boards are coming in.
So we have a lot of activities going on throughout the 6 weeks. So those are all slowly appearing on the website. You'll see some of them say just a chat, but I'll be changing stuff as people sign up. That's fun about our new website. It allows me to change stuff in instant, so it's a lot easier. And so we look out for that. Also, all of our cooking sessions are up. There's over 50 recipes on our website available to you. They're all healthy recipes that Jean-Luc has created throughout the entire process of us being, on our YouTube channel to being P3. All of the recipes that Jean-Luc's ever come up with are showing up on there. So even old ones that weren't part of P3 will be showing back up on our recipe list. And so Jean-Luc is now going to be working on adding more. There's actually about 50 to 60 more that are missing right now. It's a process to add them all.
I had to finish the Montreal videos.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
and another thing that you're getting is Stride Kick. So if you've not checked out our website, jeanlucandnick.com/Stride Kick, there are step challenges. It's an app that allows you to create challenges and share with your friends. So we encourage you to create challenges and post your links there so others can join. You can also use Step Up if you want. You can also, we're also going to be doing some activity challenges. I just said that I want to do a leg and butt my legs and my butt have expanded exponentially. And so I want to shrink them a little bit. And so I want to do some leg and butt thigh workouts in the 42 days. So I am actually going to build myself something that we will do live every morning with you guys, that you guys can join in and do with us at the same time.
Or do at a later time.
Or at a later time, you're watching it later. But we're going to be doing that as well. So we're going to be bringing different things to make you active, including step, which is going to be back in the fall. We're adding
and not just physical activity.
Yeah.
I want some brain activity out there. I know you guys, my games are challenging, but guess what? There's more coming. There's going to be different things to do. I really want to bring in games night in again. I want to bring in improv night. I want to do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because you know what? As much as wellness is all about your health, we need to work our brains, people. Our brains are so important. That's the thing that makes you move. That's the thing that makes you like get up and do things. Right? It's not your physical body makes it happen, but your brain is the one where that's where it all starts. So we need to get these going and get some new neurons and some new pathways created.
So what else is there? So you can also use our forum to find a friend.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have told us that they need an accountability buddy. We always tried multiple ways to do this in the past. It's always hard. We found this is the easiest way to do this. So on our website, if you go to jeanlucandnick.com/friend-market, there is a forum there. You can actually post on there and say, I am looking for an accountability buddy for the 42 days. And you can also look at other people's listings and see if you are compatible. There's people from different time zones, countries posting in there. So if you're looking for someone to do this for 42 days and you need some help, well, you can sign up there or bring a friend. That works too.
And for those of you who might not be aware, a lot of the things that we're giving you are saying right now, whenever there's a backslash and some of these are only if you are a member of our website.
Yes.
So the forum, you are member of our website. If you are currently in the Zoom room seeing us, you are a member. That's all you have access to absolutely everything.
And I've streamlined our sign up process now. If you actually go to if you go to KickStart on Facebook, if you look for KickStart with Jean-Luc and Nick, if you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, if you just look for that and sign up to that group and just give your email, I will sign you up to our website and have you all figured out. I figured out a process to do all that now. So it's actually a lot easier. That's why we're at 899 people, because everybody's been putting the emails and joining us. So it's a lot of fun I'm posting the link right now in chat for the friend market for those of you who are asking for it. And so what else do we have? Jean-Luc talked about it already.
I did.
The meetings that they can meet with us.
Yes, definitely. We do have some time available Monday through Friday, and I believe there's potentially weekends.
Yeah.
I think there is a calendar on our website, a Calendly. So what you do is go into jeanlucandnick.com /meet. That's MEET. And a Calendly will come up. It'll give you dates, and the dates that have like a blue circle around them mean we have times available to meet. So they're 15-minute meetings. We don't book more than that. Just because time-wise, we want to make sure we give everybody as much time. We give you a little bit of buffer time because we know 15 minutes is not much. But it's a 15-minute meeting if you want to talk about something, if you want to get some advice about anything, if you want just like a mini coaching session. It's just something for you to reach out. And again, feel free to use that at your convenience.
And the only cost is to get the booklets if you want it. We signed our first 2 this weekend.
We did. It felt weird.
But we signed our first 2.
It was cool.
It was cool. So you can get the booklet if you want, or the PDF is available on our website as well. But these are totally optional.
Yeah,
if
it's not required.
Get them, you don't have to. You can join us anyways. This is just a good companion for what you're going to be doing with us every single day. And I know this is going to sound funny, guys, but once again, if you're willing to spend money on something, you're more likely going to want to use it, right? And actually do it. And we have a picture of us in there. We love that picture. It's one of our favorites.
It's actually going to get blown up and put into our bedroom.
So that's the gist of KickStart. So again, if you have any friends, any family, any people that you know that need that KickStart in September, share them on the website, jeanlucandnick.com /KickStart. It'll bring them to the blog. They'll be able to read everything about it and let them know it's free. So now, you ready?
Sure. Okay, we're not going through all 20. There's no way.
No. It's going to take multiple workshops to do this. And so the first thing Jean-Luc and I we wrote the book. We are the writers of the book. The first things first, what are your goals? When you're starting to work on your commitments, the first thing you need to establish is your goals. What are things that you're working on? And don't just do one goal, and don't do the same, like we said earlier, do a potpourri of your life. You're not going to use all these goals. Just create yourself a brainstorm list of goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Once you created those goals, then you'll hone in on the ones that you really want to work on right now. And that's when you start building your commitments. So that's how Jean-Luc and I are going to start working on this right now. So we'll start talking about some of our goals with you guys, and we'll talk through how we're going to.
I know right away. One of our number one goals that we both want to do is we need to start eating better.
Yes.
We need to start eating better. We've really allowed some bad habits to creep back in. A lot of junk food, I'll be very honest, has come back into.
There's chips right over there.
There's chips. We've allowed it. No, and I shouldn't say allowed, because we are allowed to have it, but we have no control over it right now.
We've lost control.
Yeah.
We know we have.
Yeah.
So control. Gain control. Gain control. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want is, like I said, I want to work on my legs and my lower body
strength.
My strength. I want to rebuild some of the strength I've lost in my legs. Even though I can still squat and do like shake my booty to the ground, I get up now and I'm like, oh. And this might be my age.
I would even just say strength in general. Don't go strength in legs, because you're being too specific at that point in time. Too specific, right?
Specific time.
You're too specific time.
Too specific time.
Yeah. Another thing
we want to know that we don't want to eat out anymore.
Yeah. One thing we don't want to eat
at the restaurant.
We want to no longer not eat at no
restaurant.
Not eat at the restaurant unless it's absolutely
precise, honey.
No, but unless it's absolutely necessary in the sense, right? But that's something that will come into that play.
Too precise.
Too precise. We want no takeout.
Yeah, no takeout. Yeah, no restaurant, no takeout. Another thing I want to work on is reducing the amount of weed and alcohol that we are currently ingesting.
Yeah.
Reduce alcohol and Bermuda grass.
Something else that I want.
I want to be consistently using my Sheba.
Yeah, that's more you. That's not me.
No, you haven't had your streak in a while.
I have not had my streak in a while, but I know if once I started, I'll want it again.
I'm glad you guys all like the book. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us.
I would really like to see us somehow not only depend on TV as our entertainment on nights that we don't have you know what I mean? Like we do something else. I want to reduce TV time somehow, because we do still watch a lot of TV.
Okay, so we have about 8 goals right now, and there's more than this, everybody. Like we could keep going. It's just for allotment of time, we'll focus on these 8 right now. Okay, so now we have 8 goals. If we've written them all down, I have them on my screen right now. We're doing the same thing. So I'm hoping when you guys do this exercise later, your first step is to write down your goals. Write them down somewhere. If it's online, if it's on a piece of paper, if it's in your
book.
But you can use this spot for now, and we'll sign on this side instead.
But we recommend
find a spot next time.
And make this your book.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be pretty.
Yeah. I can't wait to see at the end what they look like.
Yeah.
I want to see pictures at the end.
So one thing I'm noticing on our list right now, eat better and no restaurants technically can go together. They're in the same category, right?
Yeah.
So eat better and no restaurants. So I would bring those together, because why like those are gonna,
they're 2 goals,
but they coincide with each other.
But why? Okay, sure. I didn't want to consolidate. I was going to go work.
Okay. So what's your next step? What are you going to do?
Next step is to take each of these goals and come up with commitments. So like we said earlier, you're going to hone in on your most important goals that are to you right now. And there are going to be ones that are going to stand out to you. There's going to be ones that, that's the one. I really want this one. There's going to be like, this one's it's a nice to have. It's like, I'll get to that one next year. Maybe there's some of those as well. There could be goals that are more urgent, that you have to do, some things that you have to do now that you got to get through because you need to go do a surgery of some kind, or you need to finish a course because you got to get your CEUs.
Yeah, these commitments could be something that you can use towards school as well. If you're in school or want to go back to school, like these are all great ideas. So which one do you want to work on right now?
So let's do our gain control.
I love the gain control.
So gain control. So I want us to gain control back. So one of the things, and I think you were saying about eating better in a restaurant, the whole package is eating our meals regularly again.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch and dinner. So we need to, I think one of our commitments is to restart eating breakfast. And we're not breakfast eaters. We do intermittent fasting. We'll be honest. We actually love it. It works really well for us. And so we tend to start eating breakfast at 11, and we got rid of that for a long time because we're like, why? We'll just eat at lunch now. And because we got lazy, we didn't want to do any extra food.
Yep.
And so now we want to bring that back. Does that mean we're going to be back breakfast at 11?
Yeah.
And then have
I'd
lunch
say 10 or 11. Exactly.
Yeah. So one commitment could be because it still could be. This is not your final list. This is a could be list. So first one is eat regular meals.
Eat 3 meals a day.
Eat 3 meals a day.
There we go. How challenging was that?
For 42 days. Okay. That's commitment number 1. Another thing in terms of gain control is one of the things that we need to get control on is our attendance for step class.
I love that.
And that goes into the strength category.
Yeah.
So our commitment, another one that could be, is no canceling step class. Period. Mind you,
is that something that we can 100%?
We should. We've done it before.
Is it something that right now we think 100% we can achieve?
I think so.
Or do you think it's something that you're going to be able to wake up for the next 42 days?
If I set a commitment,
even if you're sick and you're not feeling good.
Well, there's always caveats. You said 3 meals a day.
Yeah, but why don't we?
John, if I'm on my deathbed, you're expecting me to go actually get up and do steps?
Yes, that's why I'm like, if we're telling people, maybe we should say we have 5 buffer days.
If I miss a commitment for a day because I'm sick, it's not the end of the world. No one's verifying my tracker. No one's policing me. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So no canceling step class is going to be maybe one of our commitments. So again, still maybe. So
but what I'm trying to say is, don't feel you have to say, I need to do it for 42 days. He's not getting my gist. Because if you don't feel you can do it for 42 days, you can say, my commitment is I'm going to try to do it every single day, but I'm allowed to give myself 3 buffer days and be okay. Yes, you can do it. No. He's saying no. I'm telling you, you can.
No.
You don't have to, but they can.
They can make whatever they want.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want. But for me, that's not going to work for me. I need the 42 days because that's the goal I want to reach.
Yeah.
So if I don't get all 42, it's okay. I'm trying to strive for 42. So that's the way I look at it. So, okay. So the next commitment we can work on. You want to come up with one?
I'm following you. You're on a good roll.
Okay. So, well.
Well, you want to do the reducing weed and alcohol is going to the alcohol. I will not have an issue with. I can say
alcohol. No alcohol.
I can easily say no alcohol for 42 days. I have no issues with that. I'll be telling you the truth. The other stuff might be a challenge for me. I'll be honest, especially on the weekends, because it's the only thing that I feel like is my release and my let go. So maybe that's something, again, that's the control that comes into play, right?
Yeah.
It's that control. So it's something that I have to really sit down and say, is this something that I can learn to control?
We've been on trips and it's been fine.
Yeah, I know. So that's something, again, we need to talk about. See, it's going to be interesting for the two of us, guys, because we want to work together on some, but some of them we might need to do differently. But we will make it work. We have no choice. And I know he wants to do no weed. So because he doesn't, I'll most likely just say, yes, no weed. And I know I can do it as well.
You sound very convincing.
I know. I'm going to try my best.
He sounds very convincing in his argument there. It's like so the next one I think that we can talk about too is the no restaurant. But that one, it's
so funny because isn't it funny? Listen to us. So you guys are thinking, oh, they're got it down pat. They're going to be able to come up with 10 commitments. We're human too, people. We will struggle.
It's 42 days.
Yeah, exactly. But still, it's 42 days that you still keep to get these minds. What it is you have to believe in yourself.
On day 43, you can have your joint ready, your alcoholic beverage,
just like on
your takeout here. You can have everything you're missing on day 43. So, shape a commitment. Did you want to put that?
Yeah.
So shape a every day.
Daily shape a weight. Yeah.
So daily shape a. Shape a, for those who don't know, is our scale that we use. I've never really had a long streak on it. He's had one, but he's not been able to.
I had almost a 300-day streak, over a 300-day streak on it when I first got it.
So that's another one we can do. Reduce TV time.
Yes, that was mine where I wanted to say where at least once a week We played a game and did not watch TV all night. We played games. So we pulled out, we have so many games in this house, even if it's just speed.
Just us or with like other people?
All of the above. If we want to be just us, we could do it with just us. If we want to do it with other people, we could do it with other people.
So, okay. So that's so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just by doing that discussion together, we've already come up with 7 different commitments that are possible for us. And this is not the end. This is just the start. There's other things that we want to do in our life that are not on here. For example, we want to change our couch. Maybe we want to put some money aside to buy our couch because our couch is
Oh my God.
a
Paul,
Springalooza.
Paul was here today and I said, Paul, did you sit in Nick's like indentation? And Paul is blind. And so I had to lead him to to Nick's indentation. And no lie, he almost fell back in the couch. His legs were stuck. He couldn't get out. I was like, damn. He's like, wow. That's what happens when you sit on a couch for 3 years, right?
Yes. And I do have a big butt, so.
And he cannot lie.
I cannot lie. I know all the lyrics, so you don't get me started
I know,
on that one.
I won't.
So that's the gist of how you get started with finding your commitments. So next session, when we come back on Tuesday, we're now going to work with you guys on your commitments. So what we want you guys to do for Tuesday is come up with some questions that you might have about your own commitments.
Or come up with commitments.
Or come up with, like say, I want you guys to come up with some ideas of your commitments. That's your homework for Tuesday. So come up with some ideas of the commitments you want to do, some of the goals you want to achieve during Kickstart. Next time we have our session on Tuesday, we'll bring you guys up. And this session will be more about, you can either ask questions on camera, live if you want, or in chat about some of the questions you have about your commitments. If you want us to review them and why, is it a good commitment or is it a bad one? First of all, none of them are bad.
No bad commitment.
But we might suggest changes or tweaks to it based on, our expertise in doing stuff like this.
Or we might make you figure out the tweak on your own.
Yeah.
By asking you questions.
Asking you questions. Because why we're doing this with all of you, especially this time, we'll be doing this other Kickstart sessions because we've done it many times. We know how to set the level of goals for ourselves to make it work. As someone who's never done something like this before, you might set something that's so lofty for you that you'll get to day 10 and you're like, I can't keep doing like this, and you'll give up. And that's not what we want. This Kickstart is about empowering you to be able to do all 10 goals for 42 days. So we want you guys to succeed in this. And that's why we're telling you guys, make it simple, make it achievable for you, and make it something that you'll enjoy doing, okay?
Definitely, 100%. So on that note, thanks again for joining us, everybody out there in the virtual world. You people in Zoom, stick around. We'll be right back.
Yes.
And have a great night. Oh my God, we got to work in the morning.
I know.
Like we're off on Friday.